Let's get it up there. There we go. So welcome, and a happy Tuesday on February 13th, 2024, just about 6:02 p.m. Eastern Time. Very happy to be here for the day 16 of my 30-day challenge. And before I dive in, to chat about that and how that came about, I just want to make sure that I am, which I am, chat about that streaming. And just gonna see who's around. One sec. Just having a conversation with each and every one of you. And just a moment. There we go. I didn't ask anybody to come live with me, so I'm going to introduce myself and then I'm going to bring on some people, see who's around. Maybe some people will just find a page on their own. So very quickly, again, this is the 30-day challenge, and I'm up to day 16, where I share about strength training and everything in between, from strength training to what I like to call mystical medicine, the woo-woo stuff. Sharing, teaching, and inspiring every one of you, specifically women over 40, how I'm encouraging women over 40 to get started on their strength training if they are not strength training just yet. And through this challenge, I'm sharing real life situations, real life experiences of different things to help you get started and move through the weight room, whether that weight room's in a gym or your actual home, how to put together an actual workout plan, how to put together a exercise room. These are things that I am covering during this challenge with each and every one of you. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. If in case you are watching this for the very first time, you may be watching this on my YouTube channel as well, because this will be going there. So if for whatever the reasons are, you are watching it there, please go ahead and subscribe to my page. So this way here, when I do offer, come on and share insight about my challenge or anything else that I do talk about, you do not miss a beat. So again, introducing myself, Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your holistic integrative teacher, Reiki master, Reiki teacher, card creator, card reader, licensed and certified holistic personal trainer, medical astrologer, writer, speaker, publisher, author, and the list goes on and goes on and goes on. I am so very excited to be here with you today. As I've said, my whole purpose to why I'm choosing to share information with you based on a challenge, a 30-day challenge, giving me 30 days to come up with different ideas to share with you. And I want to give a shout out and say thank you to each and every one of you that are sharing your questions in reference to what you would like to hear about. So today's topic is all about how long should you wait between sets? So I received an email, and that was the question that was asked, if I can share that during my challenge. So I do want to shout out, I believe she said her name was Lisa R. She didn't give me a last name. She emailed, and I appreciate it. So if you have a particular topic you would like to learn more about, here's the opportunity to do just that. And you can email your questions to healingwithin76@gmail.com. Again, feel free to go search my YouTube channel, which is Holistic Fitness NY. You could definitely find it there. You could also go to my my website, which is the same website, Holistic Fitness NY. Make sure you're putting a W in when you put the word holistic. And there's a little tab that has YouTube channel, subscribe, and you can click on that and catch all the different conversations that I do hold as it's there. And apparently I am frozen on my Facebook page, so I'm going to see if I can change that. I'm definitely streaming here on my Zoom channel, so I just want to make sure that I am possibly back, and there I go. There I go. Give me 1 second. Just hollering in again. Like I said, I like to bring some folks in see who's around, who would like to learn something. I always think everyone likes to learn something, right? At least that's what I think. Well, give me a moment longer. All right. So again, this is day 16 of my 30-day challenge, and today's topic, as mentioned, is how long should you wait between sets? Now, for those of you who are already strength training, exercising, whether you're crossfitting, circuit training, interval training, whatever you call whatever it is you're doing, as long as you're working with resistance. And what I mean by resistance, that you're working with something that's going to provide a progressive overload. I speak about that word a lot when I speak in this challenge. Progressive overload, what does it mean? It means that you're working an exercise that you have the ability to increase each set, so it helps you to eventually see the results you're looking to see. The only way that you are really going to increase lean muscle tissue is to have a progression overload. Whereas if you're working with one exercise and you're doing that one exercise and working with the same weight, same reps, same sets, no challenges in between, maybe you don't have a superset, maybe you're not changing the order, eventually over time, you're no longer going to see results from that exercise because there's no progression overload. So again, the progression overload theoretically is you're increasing the weight, whether you're increasing the weight in the actual workout, that same workout, or over a period of time where you take that weight and increase the weight, give and take 2 or 3 weeks down the road, that there's a progressive overload. Now, based on today's conversation, how long should you wait between sets? Now, that's going to vary from person to person in regards to exactly what it is you are doing in regards to your workout. So let's say, for example, and I know I usually refer to shoulder press. Today, let's talk about squats. I think that's a common one that many of you may be familiar with, the word squatting, whether you're doing a body squat, a barbell squat, a dumbbell squat, a hack squat, anything that resembles a squat. You start out with the weight that you're working with. Now, let's say you're a beginner and you don't really know what weight to work with, and you're doing your body weight. My recommendation is working with your body weight, and if you can get 12 to 15 repetitions, good rep with good form on the first set, then it's important to make sure the second set you're grabbing some sort of weight. I recommend right off the back starting with a minimum of 10 pounds minimum. Now, again, depending on your height and your weight will really determine the maximum amount of weight you want to lift, keeping in mind your form as well. So let's just say, argument's sake, you've done your first set. First set was simple, you got your repetitions in, and now the question is, how long do I need to rest before I do that exercise again? If you are not increasing the weight on a second set, I'm going to say it again. If you are not increasing the weight on the second set, my recommendation is your rest period could be about 30 seconds to 60 seconds. 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So 30 seconds to a minute is how long you want to rest between that particular set if you are not increasing the weight on the second set. Now, if you are increasing the weight on the second set, you may want to rest a minute and a half to 2 minutes before you start that second set. And every set may vary. Now, I do believe having a conversation in one of my challenges, not really sure what number challenge it was, could have been challenged day number 3, day number 4, where I spoke about timing regarding your rest period, where you really want to have a specific time frame that each set carries the same amount of rest period. So this way here, you're maximizing the results you're looking to get. Today, I'm going to contradict that conversation just in case any of you go back and look at one of my other videos and say, well, in the other video, you mentioned that you want to time everything. There's always going to be a contradiction to something based on something that changes in the conversation. So I do want you to understand that. So I'm not contradicting myself. I'm just giving it an understanding to sometimes there are changes to the rules to why we do something different based on what I've said originally. And the contradiction to this is when you are working your sets based on your rest periods, your first or second set, you might have rest for that 1.5 to maybe 2 minutes. But come your third set, the third set's a little heavier. You may be a little more tired from the first and second set. So you may find that you might need to rest just a little longer. So you may go that 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes. There is a lot of information out there that actually states that rest periods, especially if you are lifting heavy, and we're going to define that word heavy in just a moment, that your rest periods can be as long as 5 minutes. Now, my rule of thumb is if you rest for that long between a set, what's going on with your body temperature during that rest period is your body temperature is recovering. And that means you're getting cooler and cooler. Your body's no longer warm. And therefore, when you go back to do that next set after resting for 5 minutes, your muscles are now cold, which then puts you at risk of an injury. So my recommendation would be, I would not recommend resting for 5 minutes. Only for the sake of keeping your muscles warm to avoid injury. Now, there's such a term as active rest period. An active rest period is just that, where after you've done the exercise you've done, and you're going to take that 2 to 3 minute rest, maybe a total of 5 minute rest for whatever the reasons are, you do an active rest, meaning you may walk up and down the area that you are in, whether it's a gym, your room, your home, whatever it is, and you may walk back and forth, pacing, where you're still giving yourself time to rest, but you're not completely sitting, so your body temperature then doesn't get cool. And so therefore you do not risk your muscles getting cold, and that when you're ready to go back into the next set that your muscles are cold. So that would be the only time I would suggest that if you are planning to do a 5 minute rest based on the actual weight you're lifting, that you do an active rest versus a full complete rest where you're literally just standing or sitting. Now, I mentioned before, what determines a heavy set? And this is going to vary from person to person. A heavy set means repetitiously, your reps on that last set, which is known as the heavy set, should range between, I'd say between 6 to 5 repetitions. Unless, of course, you're going for what they call a one rep max. And what is a 1 rep max? A 1 rep max means you're actually going to load up, and we're talking about squats here. You're loading up the squat bar, and most of the time when you're doing a 1 rep max, you're mostly doing it on a squat bar with barbell. You might be using a Smith machine. You may even be using a hack squat for that matter. You're loading it up, going for what you think is your heaviest weight that you can lift, and you can only do it one time. That's a 1 rep max. Now, if that is the case, and it's at the heaviest peak, and I'll give you an example of something I used to do way back when, in my former bodybuilding years as a competitive bodybuilder, natural bodybuilder for that matter. So again, I didn't go through my bio, which is what I usually do. Maybe I'll share that at the end. I would do leg press. And my leg press, my maximum leg press lift was 1,000 pounds. Now, at the time when I was pressing 1,000 pounds, I weighed, I think, 120 pounds. So you could do the math. So 1,000 pounds that I'm lifting versus 120 pounds that I weigh, that is a really big difference. So yeah, theoretically speaking, that's a lot of weight. Therefore, and I didn't just do a 1 rep max. Most of the time when I did that exercise, that amount of weight, it was anywhere between 6 to 8 repetitions. And when I was finished, I would leave to give myself that rest period, give and take 3 to 5 minutes before I would move on to the next exercise. Or for that matter, that might have been the last exercise I did just to end my workout. And therefore, there was no other exercise to be done other than cooling my body down, such as stretching, just to stretch the muscles that I worked. So again, it all really depends on what it is you're doing at the time. So going back to the original question, in regards to how long should you rest between sets? Minimum rest period, 30 seconds. 30 seconds minimum. I always like to believe that you rest until your breathing is back to normal. So if you're doing an exercise, maybe you've done pull-ups. After you've done your pull-ups, how many repetitions? You come off the pull-up bar and you're breathing slightly heavy. So now you're going to either walk back and forth, take a seat, whatever it is, or just stand, whatever it is, grab that water, and you're going to rest. Now, depending on how long it takes you to recover with your breathing will be your determination of how long are you going to rest. Now, this is also going to give you a gauge in regards to your level of fitness as well. I'm going to use this expression. The more fit you are, I don't want to use the word faster, the sooner you recover. So the more fit you are, the sooner you recover. Now, there may be some other reasons to why you're not recovering as quickly. And even though you may qualify yourself to be fit. So for example, if you are a former smoker, if you've suffered with heart disease, high blood pressure, had a stroke, issues with your lung capacity, these would be reasons to why it takes you a little longer to recover in your breathing. So again, pay attention to that. And I say this a lot in many of my other challenges, is note your level, your intensity of breathing. How long did it take you to recover to normal breathing again? Write that down in your notebook. So this way here, that too will be your determination in reference to that you are progressing. And also, this is the amount of time you're resting for. Because theoretically, you definitely do not want to go back over to the squat rack, the pull-up bar, or even the leg press machine, or any exercise that you're doing where you are going to go back into that set again and you are still panting. If you are still panting, means you are not ready to start that next set, which means you still need time to recover. And I do want to make a note that during your recovery time, during your rest time, my recommendation is that if the exercise that you're doing requires you to be laying down, such a bench press or a lying leg curl, or think of other exercises that have you lying down, whatever the exercise is, you get the idea. If you are lying down, my suggestion would be to make sure you come up to sitting. This way here, your head is above your heart while you're resting, so you're not completely flat. You don't want your head to be in the same alignment of your heart. You want your head above your heart during that rest period. So again, all of these things are extremely important in regards to the recovery part of how long you need to rest for. Also take in consideration, and I mentioned this in one of my other lives, in regards to your sleep patterns and also your dietary habits. So again, if you are, let's say, sleep deprived, maybe the night before you didn't get the best sleep for whatever the reasons are, your rest periods are going to determine that too. So if you're tired, you're going to need a longer rest period. So you do need to note that as well. So it's always a good idea to check in with yourself. How am I feeling today? Did I get a good night's sleep? I might have gotten my 6 to 8 hours sleep, but did I get a restful night's sleep? And by keeping track of that, that also gives you additional homework to work on, because if you're not getting a good night rest, yet you are getting your 6 to 8 hours of sleep, you may need to evaluate why you're not getting good sleep, quality sleep, because that's a whole other reasons too, why you may need to rest a little longer after each set. So again, everything matters. Every piece matters. Your dietary habits. If for whatever the reasons are, you've gone that long period of time where you didn't eat, maybe by the time you got to the gym or to your workout, you had a 4 to 6 hour span where you have not had any fuel yet. So your body's fuel deprived. I'm going to use that word. which would be another reason why you're not going to be at ample capacity to do what you want to do and get the most out of that workout, and that you do need longer rest periods because you didn't fuel your body to do what you want your body to do from that workout. So there's so many reasons to why you need to take in consideration to why it is you may be resting too long and what's really too long. Again, for those of you who are beginners, you may find that you need that rest period just to recover and get ready for that next set. Your weights are going to determine what you are lifting, is going to determine how long you need to rest. My recommendation, 30 seconds to maximum 3 minutes, maximum. Anything beyond a 3-minute rest period, unless of course you're doing an active rest where you need that 5-minute rest period, by all means do. Also pay attention to what's going on in your life stress-wise. Are you a little more stressed than usual? I have a client that I work with, and he's currently the caretaker to his mom, and therefore at night times he doesn't get to sleep very well because he's up most nights taking care of her. So when he does come in for his workouts, some of his workouts, he's tired. So in between each set, he may rest that 5 minutes because he's tired. And that's fine. His reasons to why he is exercising, why he is strength training, is more about helping him to reduce his stress level, not so much about wanting to focus more about getting leaner and stronger. Yes, that's a part of his goal, but not his primary goal right now. So you also got to pay attention to what your goals are. Why are you lifting? Why are you strength training? Are you looking to get the results? You may be in a point of your life right now where you're in a maintenance phase. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that term, maintenance phase. And what a maintenance phase means is that you're not really concerned about increasing your weight, and you're just really concerned about moving your body, maintaining what you already have, and therefore you're not focusing so much about like how long do I need to rest. Again, ideally the goal here is that you want to get your workout in, and you don't want to spend your entire time working. You don't want to spend your entire day working out. And therefore, if you are theoretically in your workout space for more than an hour, you have to ask yourself, were you in that workout space for more than an hour because you were physically working out? Or did you take a lot of rest periods that added up to that hour's time of being in that space? And there's where you have to ask that question. And if you're okay with the fact that you're spending a lot of time in the workout space, and not seeing the results you're looking to see, or just saying, wow, I spent a lot of time in my workout space and I need to be doing other things. So you may need to evaluate your rest periods, because that too can cut back time. Now, again, next thing I want to touch on in this conversation of how long should you rest between sets, you also want to pay attention that you're not resting too short of a time just to get your workouts done. I have clients that when I'm not on top of them, sometimes they sort of rush, and I got to constantly like whip, and remind them that they have to rest. There's no reason to be jumping off the one exercise and getting their water very quickly and jumping back into the set again, especially if they are breathing heavy. And sometimes they may not be breathing heavy. So you do have to pay attention that you want at least a 30-second rest period between the sets that you are doing. So at least the muscle realize that you actually stopped, so it can start up again. Otherwise, you can theoretically do, if your rep range is, let's say, 8 repetitions and you're doing 3 sets of 8, you could theoretically do 24 repetition and call it a day. Would that be a smart idea though? Probably not. So paying attention to how long you are resting. Are you resting too long or too short? Paying attention to the results you're looking to get. And my rule of thumb is resting to the point where you have actually recovered in your breathing, so you're ready to go back into that set. Or depending on the weight that you are about to lift for the next set, you may need to rest for that 1.5 to 3 minutes, depending on what you are doing. And if you are going to rest for that 5-minute point, really, I would say do an active rest so you're not sitting and completely going cold on your muscles, which puts you at risk of injury. So there you have it in regards to how long should you rest between sets. Now you might also be asking, because it's a question that's coming up in my mind, what if you're doing a superset? Let's cover supersets before I end the live, or even a triset. Now, what is the difference, a superset and a triset? A superset means that you're going to work 2 exercises back to back with minimum rest to no rest at all. What do I mean by that? So let's say, let's go into overhead press, and then we'll do side laterals. 2 common ones for shoulders. Overhead press is a little more aggressive, and side laterals not so much aggressive, depending on what you're lifting again. Keeping in mind that when we do side lateral exercise, it's hitting the anterior delt, which is a small muscle. Your overhead press is hitting the primary shoulder, which is a big area. So you got to take in consideration that as well. So, and an overhead press, you can handle heavier weight on an overhead press, where a lateral raise, theoretically, you're not looking to lift a whole lot of weight. I wouldn't recommend, and I see this a lot in gyms in itself, where men and women lifting 20, 30, and 40 pounds to do a lateral raise. Now, again, form is everything. If you're doing a lateral raise and you're sort of jerking your body back and forth to get that weight up and down, the weight's too heavy anyway. So my suggestion would be finding a weight when you're working your laterals that you can maintain great posture, great form, and get that weight up shoulder height and then back down without injuring yourself. And of course, that weight's going to be a little less than what you're lifting for overhead press. And again, one of my pet peeves, do not lift the same weight that you're lifting for overhead press for side laterals. Do not. You're wasting your time if you are doing that. You are wasting your time if you are doing that. And if that means you only have 1 set of weight and that's all you can do, my suggestion would be turn around and get yourself a water bottle and work with the laterals with a water bottle. Or if you need a heavier weight for the overhead press, maybe it might be a time for you to turn around and invest in getting heavier weight. Because if you're going to work with the same weight based on different exercises, and one exercise definitely is a power exercise, which means you should be lifting a heavier weight, and you're not going to get the best out of it anyway. So going back to the fact of a superset, and I just want to say hello to those of you who are popping in. If you can, say hi to me so I can see the comments as you are here. And if you do have questions about this topic where I'm speaking about how long should you rest between sets, put those questions in the comments and I will definitely answer them as I'm here with you, at least for another 10 minutes. So anyway, going back to the superset. So we have the overhead press and then we have the side laterals, the side laterals, straight arm side laterals. You do your first set with the overhead press with whatever the weight you do, with whatever repetitions you do. It's a superset, which means you're literally, theoretically speaking, placing the weight down for the overhead press, and then lifting the other weight to go right into the lateral. So the rest period literally is the time frame from where it takes you to put the weight on the floor to go and pick up the next weight to do the lateral. So there's very little bit of rest. Now, if for whatever the reasons are, after you've done your overhead press and you are a little tired, you're breathing a little heavy, and you do have that superset to go, give yourself that 15-second rest period to then go and jump into your lateral raises. 15 seconds. Now, if you need longer than 15 seconds, then my recommendation would be perhaps not supersetting overhead press with lateral raise, because it just means that you're sacrificing one exercise for the other just to do a superset. And supersets are known for 2 reasons why we do supersets. Excuse me. Doing a superset means that you are challenging the muscle that you are working on, which is why you're supersetting, why you're literally going to do 2 exercises back to back that's either going to work the exact same muscle group or the antagonist muscle, which means the opposite muscle, and therefore requires intense lifting. Excuse me, I'm going to grab a little water. So for example, I'm gonna give you a different exercise to think about. Let's say we do the lat pull down, working your back, excuse me, and then you're gonna go do a seated pulley row. Muscles are equally the same when it comes to strength. Therefore, you do your lat pull downs, you finish that, and then the time it takes you to go from your lat pull down machine to your pulley row is your rest period. Get yourself all set up, and then you're ready to go. Excuse me. After you finish that superset, after you've done the lat pull down and then the pulley row, that's where you get to rest. After you've done your lat pull down and pulley row, that's when you rest. That's where your 1.5 minute to 1.5 minute to 3 minute rest period comes into play. Because then you're gonna get ready to do it again. Now, at that point, you might be looking to increase the weight and drop the reps, which is that pyramiding. So that's the advantage of a superset, where you get to do 2 exercises back to back. Excuse me again, got a little tickle. When you get to do your 2 exercises back to back, and then you get to rest. Minimum rest period between the 2 exercises when it is a superset. Minimum rest period, the time it takes you to get from one exercise to the other to get your weights going and then get ready to go. And if you're still breathing a little heavy after doing that set, then again, 15 seconds and then boom, right back into it again. It's a superset. If you're doing a superset, that means you're up for the challenge. Otherwise, my suggestion would be do not superset. Do not superset. We do the lat pull down, do all the sets there, and then when you're done, then go to your pulley row and do all your sets there. Also know what exercises to superset if you're going to superset. Like I said before, if you're doing overhead press, and I'll give you mine, for example. Excuse me. You're doing overhead press. Now, when I do overhead press, my usual weight is 20 pounds. Rep range, depending on the day, could be anywhere between 8 to 10 repetitions. Then I put that weight down, and then I grab my 12-pound dumbbells and I go right into my side laterals. And I get anywhere between 8 to 10 on that. So after I'm completely done with the overhead press, rest the weight down. I take a breather. I might grab a little water. I grab my weight and I go right into the next set. Once I'm done with the 2 exercises, then I rest. So that's supersetting. Tricep is the same thing. Tricep means now you're working 3 exercises back to back before you rest. And it could be the same body part. Like when I do shoulders, theoretically, I work 4 exercises back to back with no rest until I've done all 4 exercises. So my shoulder routine looks like an overhead press that I start with. I go right into my standing lateral raises, into standing front raises, and then I come back to the bench, sit down, lean forward, and then I do rear flies. 4 different exercises, all for the shoulders. Rep ranges anywhere between 10 to 8 repetitions on each exercise. And when I'm done with all 4 exercises, that's when I rest. I give myself that 1.5 to 3 minutes of rest where I'm fully resting, allowing my breath to come back, drinking up some water, and then getting myself ready for the next set. And depending on the week, the next set could be a pyramid where the weights are going to go up and the repetitions are going to go down. And that's how it varies. There are some weeks where I do not always do the same 4 shoulder exercises. I vary it up. I may take out the front raise and put an upright row. I may take out the side laterals and do 1-arm laterals. So it all changes up, again, depending on my progressive overload. But the rest period, based on that giant set, because that's what that is. Once you go past 3 exercises, it becomes a giant set. And the rest periods are accordingly. I want to say hi to everybody who's popping in again. If you have questions regarding this topic, which is all about how long do you rest between sets. Feel free to put those questions in. Nice to see you here, Ann. I appreciate you being here and dropping in to say hello. I appreciate you. So again, when you are going to get into your workouts, you need to plan your workout out. Know what exercises that you're planning to do. Know if you are planning to do a superset. Excuse me. Know what weight you're planning to do. Have a general idea of your rep range that you're looking to do. This way here can give you that general idea of how your workout's going to go. You very rarely want to go and get into your workout without knowing how many repetitions you're aiming for. You want to always know how many repetitions you're going to be doing. A general idea could be, oh, I'm going to shoot for 8 reps in this, or I'm going to shoot for 6 reps in it. The minute you hold the weight in your hand, you're going to know right off the bat how many repetitions you can get in that set. And you can determine it from there. Keeping in mind form. You do not want to work with a weight that you're bouncing your body all over the place just to get the weight up. I know that I watch a lot of TikTok videos, and I see a lot of that with a lot of your people out there who's presenting themselves as coaches, and those of you who are following them, I want you to make sure that you're following the right people in reference to getting the results you're looking to get, because again, if you're following somebody and you're actually matching what they are doing according to how they work out, and you end up doing it that way as well, and they're doing it incorrectly, you're going to be doing it incorrectly as well, and that's going to cause you to get hurt. Keep in mind that they've probably been working out a lot longer than you have, and they probably theoretically know how to go about it without getting injured, or they've been injured before. So I want to keep you injury free. So it's really important to pay attention to how you are lifting when you are lifting, and that your body is completely still in reference to what needs to be stabilized and what needs to be moving. So paying attention, remember the key components here is when you are going to get into your workout, whatever that workout is, know exactly the body part you're looking to work, know exactly what exercises you're looking to work with that body part. Get a general idea of how many exercises you want to do for that body part. I'm going to share a funny story with you from my past. Many years back, when I was working out in the gyms, and this goes back to when I was probably, 24. I think I was 24. There was a guy in the gym, and for whatever the reason he and I started working out together, and he was going to do a chest workout, and usually we alternated our routine. So if the the day prior we did my routine, the next time around we did his routine. Hey Ella, how are you, my love? So that particular day we were going to do his chest routine. So I asked him what his chest routine was so I can write it down in my notebook. And he started out with, okay, we're going to do bench press, then we're going to do dumbbell press, then we're going to do incline press, then we're going to do barbell incline press, then we're going to do dumbbell fly, then we're going to do pec fly, and then we're going to finish off with push-ups. I sort of lost him at the 3rd exercise. I just looked at him, I says, you do 7 exercises for chest? And he says, yes. And I literally couldn't stop myself, but I said, well, that's why your chest looks the way it does. And he looked at me and said, what's that supposed to mean? I said, well, your chest is flat. Now, if you're not familiar with that term for a man, if a man's chest is not defined, it's flat, which means there's nothing there. There's when you look at a man's chest, and ladies out there, I want you to pay attention to this. Pay attention to a man that works out and what their chest looks like. Their chest is nice and plumpy up here, assuming they're working out correctly. If they're doing too many exercises for that same muscle, their chest is going to be flat. And his chest was flat. So I had said to him, I said, I know we're supposed to do your routine today. I said, so how about we do this? How about we eliminate 4 of those 7 exercises? And he was like, why? I said, because you're doing too many exercises for that body part. There's no need to do that many exercises for that body part. So yeah, he's like, all right, what exercises do you want to keep out of the 7? I says, I'm good with doing bench press. We could do an incline dumbbell press. We could do dumbbell fly. Those are the 3 I want to do. And if we feel inclined to do so, we could do push-ups at the end. So maybe 4. And he's like, okay. So now, in case you're wondering why I chose those. So for example, the incline press concentrates on the upper chest. So for you women out there who are just getting started with your workouts, or maybe you're not working out yet and you need a starting point, incline exercise for chest helps to lift the chest muscle. So for those of you who want to look like you had a boob job, that's the exercise you want to do, because that's going to lift the upper chest area. Bench press, where you're literally lying on a bench and you're using a bar, concentrates on the center of your chest. And then flies, laying flat on the bench again, concentrates on the outside of the chest. So there you have your sections. And that's what we did. And we did that routine when we worked chest together for about 6 weeks consistently. And all of a sudden, he started noticing results with his chest. He wasn't flat anymore, and he was impressed. And in fact, I remember his brother saying to him, "What are you doing differently? Because your chest is starting to look more developed." And he's like, and he used to call me Joe. He said, "Oh, Joe suggested that I do not do 7 exercises for chest, so she's got me only doing 3. So I do 3 exercises with her for chest." And he was like, "Oh," he goes, "only 3? That doesn't seem like a lot." And, he was there at the gym that day. So I said, "Well, we're doing chest today. So if you want to do it with us and try it out for yourself, feel free to. Unless, of course, you want to do your 7 exercises, that's on you." So his brother learned to dingo too as well, and was a little intimidated by it because it was the information was coming from a girl, as he called me, a girl. Anyway, guys, so this is the whole process. Is you need to know that when you are putting together your own workout, especially if you're not being supervised, if you don't have a trainer, and I highly recommend that if you are just going to get started with your training, that you hire a personal trainer, so this way here you know exactly what you're doing, and that your program is actually being created according to what it is you're looking to do, and the program is balanced, that you're not doing too much from one muscle and not enough for another muscle, or maybe you're missing a muscle altogether, because you're not familiar, or you're following a book and you're figuring that's the way you're going about it. So there are rules of thumb. So for example, and I think I'm going to finish it here, is when I do my back routine, I have about 7 exercises that I do. And that may look like I start with pull-ups. From pull-ups, I'll go into a lat pull down, sometimes a reverse grip. So if I do a lat pull down and reverse grip, I only end up doing 2 sets of each, because I'm changing the positioning in regards to what I am doing. So that's right off 3 exercises just for my lats. And then I'll go into a pulley row, which is on the floor, to concentrate more on my middle part of my back and my lower back. And then I'll either do a 1-arm row or a barbell row. So we're looking at 6, and then I finish off with back extensions for my lower part of my back. 7 exercises that concentrates on the back. Theoretically, I would say out of all the muscles out there, that's probably the one muscle that you're probably going to have more exercises than any of the other body parts. The back, besides your legs, are the largest muscle on your body. Therefore, it may require you to do more exercises, so this way you're hitting all of the area of the back. You got your primary muscles, and then you got your secondary muscles. And if you want symmetry, you want to make sure you're working them all, maybe not all in the same workout, depending on your timing and what you're available to do, but at least so you're doing them over a 7-day period. This way here, you're getting the results that you're looking to get, and not overtraining and not undertraining. So again, going back to how long do you need to rest between sets? Minimum 30 seconds. Maximum 3 minutes. And if you are going to do that 5-minute rest period, it needs to be an active rest period, which means you are either going to walk back and forth until your heart rate recovers, or you may do an easier exercise to just slowly recover before you go back and do that set again. So I am hoping this helps, especially for those of you who are currently strength training. Now, if you are not involved in some sort of resistance strength training, and whatever the name you want to call it, I refer it to as strength training. It's the easiest way. Some call it resistance training, weight training, whatever it is. As if you are not doing something that's going to help you improve your bone density, your body composition, excuse me, and help you decrease fat tissue, this is your opportunity to start doing just that. I do recommend that you do hire a trainer. Invest in your health. Invest in your health. It's probably the best investment you'll ever make for yourself, because at least when you are exercising, you know you are going to do it correctly. And I am currently taking on new clients, those who are interested in learning more about what it is that I do as a holistic personal trainer. This is your opportunity to go ahead and grab a session. You could do so by emailing healingwithin76@gmail.com. You currently will get 15% off your package, 15% off your package that you take on. I usually recommend a minimum of 12 weeks of working with me. And for those who are more serious, definitely diving into a 6-month to 12-month package with me, as I like to call it, a prescription plan. Because remember, the changes that you're looking to see, you're not going to see happen overnight. That's not possible for your changes to happen overnight. A transformation is literally going to take you to almost the same time that it took you to get the way you are now. It's going to take you that much time to get there, to that new transformation. And how consistent you are, how disciplined you are, how motivated you are is going to determine how rapidly you transform. Theoretically, it doesn't matter how quickly you transform. The idea of it is that it's a phasing process where where there's a period of time that you go through to see the progression that you're seeing. And from my experience, again, here's the bio. Doing what I'm doing as a health, fitness, and wellness practitioner in the industry since I'm 12 years old. I'm going to be 54 in March, so you do the math. I have helped more women than I can count on my hands transform their mind, body, and spirit. And from my experience, the first 12 weeks of your training is really about just getting connected with your mind and your body. That is the 12 weeks of your training. Getting familiar with how to utilize your body, getting familiar with how to work your body, how to contract your body, how to eccentrate your body, how to connect with the body parts that you do have. That's the first 12 weeks of your training. That's already 3 months. From 12 weeks into your 6-month period is when you really start to feel stronger, feel healthier, feel more confident, feel like you can move and know and understand what you are doing when you are exercising. By the time you reach that 6-month to 12-month mark, that's where the transformation starts to happen. That's where you start to see the symmetry, your body composition shifting, where you become leaner and stronger. So it takes at least a year to get to where you want to go, doing it naturally. And that's the key word there, because again, as I've said, I am a former natural bodybuilder competitor. So I work naturally with your body to get you where you have to go. When working with me, we will talk about nutrition. I like to refer to it as fueling and feeding your body, learning to do the chew, because it's extremely important. I will take in consideration what I call your astrological makeup. What is that? Your astrological makeup, what your body is designed as, whether you have fire energy, earth energy, water energy, or air energy. How much of it do you have? How does that play a role in your workouts? In addition to, where are you in your life right now? Where are you in your life? Are you in your early 40s? Are you 50? Are you 60? Are you 70? Where are you in your life? Are you just starting out with your strength training? You've never lifted before. Maybe you lifted a few years back and then you stopped for whatever the reasons are. Have you had children? Have you not had children? That all plays a role with how your body is going to correspond to what it is you're looking to do with the results you're looking to get. So it's really, really important. I want to put this out there. I heard this today and I thought it was really a great reminder. When you are out there searching TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest and you're looking for these programs, I want you to pay attention to whom it is you're following for the program you're looking for. So for example, for you women out there who are just 40 years old, 40 to 50 years old, you want to work with someone, you want to follow someone that's in your age category, depending on their lifestyle. So for example, if you're watching a TikTok video where the girl is demonstrating ab exercises to do, she's doing all these fancy things on abs, and the girl is just barely 30 years old. You could tell by her body she has not reached motherhood yet, so that itself plays a big role. Theoretically, what she's doing and what you're going to do is going to be really different. So if you are following someone that's going to give you a misconception to what it is on how your body can possibly get, pay attention to who it is you are following, because that plays a big role in your results. So again, feel free to keep the questions coming to what it is you would like to hear me speak about, to share with you, provide you teaching tips, and also inspire you to keep your workouts going. I want you, my intention for each and every one of you is to every day look forward to getting up and getting that workout in, not just getting it done, but looking forward to doing it. I want you to start thinking about the exercise that you love doing, your favorite exercise. Why is it your favorite exercise? I want you to know the names of your exercises. I have a client that she and I have been working together for some time, and she's really starting to get interested in that mind-body connection and what muscle she's working when she's working it. Because believe it or not, reality of it all is the mind-body connection is a big portion to getting the results you're looking to get. Because if you are, let's say, working your overhead press, but you're not paying attention to your shoulders, there's no connection with the mind and the body, which means you're not going to really get the results that you're looking to see. So that mind-body connection is really important. Don't just go through the motion. Feel what it is you are doing. So this way here, every workout is going to be equally important, and every workout is going to be a progressive workout process. So pay attention to what it is you are doing. And again, for those who are not exercising just that, not strength training, not resistance training, not lifting weights, and you're ready to get started, go ahead and email me, healingwithin76@gmail.com. Redeem your 15% off your 3-month, that's 12 sessions. We'll start right there. And of course, if you're looking to continue from there on, I'll be more than happy to keep you on to help you transform your body. Remember, you only have one body. Your body is your temple. And it's so important to make sure you have a healthy temple to ensure that you are healthy. Your strength training is your health insurance. So invest in yourself. Again, I'm Joanne Angel Barry Colon, and I'm super excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for spending your day with me. I do not see any questions that I need to answer at this point. Again, if you happen to have any, feel free to send those questions to healingwithin76@gmail.com. Until next time, remember, this is day 16 of my 30-day challenge, and I am hoping to be a little bit more consistent with sharing some tips with you in regards to sharing, teaching, and inspiring you to get started on your strength training routine. And there is absolutely no excuse to getting started. We all have a minimum of 10 minutes a day to get a workout in. So get your workout in 10 minutes a day and get support, get guidance, hire a trainer. It's worth your investment. I am sure that whatever it is you're doing in your life, there's something you can sort of pause, take that money that you're using for that, pause it on that, and invest in your body. I am looking forward to working with you and seeing where we go together and helping you to transform your body, your mind, your spirits, and your emotion. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye for now.